The Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 5, The Yoga of Renunciation. Arjuna inquired, "You praise abandonment of actions for the purpose of spiritual growth, and also their selfless performance. Tell me definitely, which is the better of these two?" Krishna answered, "The abandonment of actions and their selfless performance both result in liberation. Of the two, the performance of selfless actions is better than their abandonment. That one is a true renunciate who neither loathes nor desires, who is indifferent to the dualities. Such a devotee is easily liberated from bondage. Those who are without understanding declare the way of knowledge and the way of yoga practice to be different, but not the wise. When either way is successfully practiced, the fruit and result of both is experienced. The realization experienced by knowledge is also actualized by yoga practice. The devotee who understands that the way of knowledge and the way of yoga practice are the same sees the truth. Renunciation is indeed difficult to perfect without yoga practice. The wise devotee who is disciplined in yoga practice quickly realizes God. The one who is devoted to yoga practice, whose field of awareness is purified, whose soul nature is tranquil, whose senses are controlled, who realizes cosmic consciousness, is not tainted by actions. Steadfast in yoga practice, whether seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, walking, sleeping, or breathing, the knower of truth should think, "I do nothing at all." When speaking, performing necessary bodily functions, holding objects, whatever is done, the devotee knows. The senses are only occupied with their objects. Having abandoned attachments, offering all actions to God, the devotee who thus acts is not tainted by misfortune, as a lotus leaf is not wetted by water. To purify individualized awareness, one who practices yoga, established in renunciation, performs actions with the body, mind, intellect, or merely with the senses. One who has renounced the results of actions and is disciplined in yoga practice experiences peace. The undisciplined person attached to results is bound by actions which are impelled by desire. Inwardly renouncing all actions, the embodied soul, having mastered them, dwells comfortably in the body, neither acting nor causing action. Supreme consciousness is not the creator of the means of action. The actions people perform, not the relationships between causes and their effects. Nature is the field in which these circumstances occur. All-pervading supreme consciousness is not influenced by righteous or unrighteous deeds of people. Unenlightened people are bewildered because their innate knowledge is obscured by delusions. For those in whom ignorance of the true self is banished by knowledge, their enlightenment allows the Supreme Self to shine like the sun. Those who direct their attention to the Absolute, whose total awareness is absorbed in that, whose intent is to realize that, who aspire to that as the highest objective, whose faults and limitations have been removed by knowledge, awaken to full liberation from which there is no return. The discerning devotee sees the same supreme consciousness in all people and creatures without exception. Even here in this realm, the need for rebirth is overcome by those who are established in realization of oneness. They are stable in realization of supreme consciousness because of knowledge that it is flawless and the same everywhere. One should not rejoice when attaining what is pleasant, nor be mentally or emotionally disturbed when confronting what is unpleasant. With unwavering discernment, without delusion, a knower of God is established in God. That devotee whose awareness is detached from externals, who is content in self-knowledge and abides in samadhi, knows changeless bliss. Pleasures resulting from contact with externals are possible sources of pain because they have beginnings and endings. The wise devotee is not satisfied with them. The one who is able to resist and master the surges of emotion and desire while embodied, that one, steadfast in yoga practice, is fortunate and happy. That one who finds happiness, delight, and light of knowledge only within, experiences the full reality of God. Those knowers of truth, whose errors have been eliminated, who are settled in self-knowledge, who are happy in the welfare of all beings, are free in God. For those dedicated practitioners of yoga who have discarded desire and anger, whose thoughts and mental states are mastered, who are established in self-knowledge, the happiness of God realization is undiminished. Disregarding externals, fixing the gaze inward between the eyebrows, harmonizing the breath within the nostrils, the devotee established in knowledge, whose highest aspiration is liberation of consciousness, whose senses, mind, and intellect are controlled, from whom desire, fear, and anger have departed, is forever free. Having known me to be the enjoyer of sacrifices and austerities, the mighty ruler of the worlds, the friend of all creatures, that devotee who is stable in wisdom is established in the peace of eternal tranquility. In the Upanishad of the Bhagavad Gita, the science of the Absolute, the scripture of yoga, and the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, thus ends the 5th chapter, entitled Sanyas Yoga, the Yoga of Renunciation.